Hi guys, how are you guys doing? So back again with another video. Today I had a topic I want to discuss, or I wanted to come and discuss here. But then a couple things changed that made me now think that I would talk about a different thing. I wanted to talk about respect and advice. But I came here to the location I'm supposed to shoot, and I met an old man, and our topic of conversation actually changed, or he made me now think of a different topic to talk about, and that is Nigeria. I want to talk about Nigeria. I want to talk about the state of the country, the state of Nigeria, the current situation of Nigeria, or how Nigeria currently feels for me, and people around me, or people that work within my niche, or my jurisdiction. Yeah, I'll try to be audible this time. I noticed my last video I wasn't so audible, but this time around I would give you guys high quality audio. This time around I'll try to be audible. I'll speak more louder and clearer, so you guys can hear me. And yeah, like I said, I want to talk about Nigeria. Wow. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you guys my location, but I'm currently at a location where I like coming here to just chill out and relax and just watch the waves. I'm going to show you BTS. I say BTS. I'm going to show you B-rolls of the waves and the water waves, so you can get an idea of currently where I'm staying, or where I'm at the moment I'm shooting this video. So coming here, I already had war. I'm generic. I'm not using scripts to shoot my videos, so I'm not writing anything down. I'm just coming off the top of my head how I feel. So I can appeal to my emotions, and I can tell my story deep down from how I'm currently feeling. So I'm not coming from a place of okay, I wrote this down. Really, I did not write anything down. And yeah, Nigeria. Man, I don't even know what to say. This country alone is is a whole conversation in itself. It's like a conversation starter. You meet a Nigerian, and the next thing you guys just start going off about problems and how the country feels and how they're currently feeling, and it's a whole thing. Anytime I think about it, I'm just like, wait, what? Why is this a more borderline feeling for almost everybody in the country? Most people actually feel like this. Majority of Nigerians actually feel this way. Feel the need to want to say something about the country, or about how they are also feeling, and it goes deep. It actually goes deep. When you actually think about it, because like I said, I met an old man, someone that I would say is in his late 70s, or let's say his late 60s, early 70s, late 60s. He looks quite old, but he's kind of energetic. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to discuss about respect and advice. Well, I'll leave that for another video. But coming here, or while trying to set up where I was going to show, or coming to this particular location, I just met this old man who came up to me, and he wanted to ask for something. He just said explaining himself and his background, and he wanted to ask for something. And it's help. But I kind of I kind of told him that I'm currently in his own situation as well. So we're both experiencing the same thing, and it's not just uniquely for him alone, and I'm also feeling the same way type shit. That's what I told him. I'm like, well, yeah, sir, I hear you, I feel your story, but I think this is across board, and I feel everybody, or most people in Nigeria currently feel this way. There are just a certain percentage of people in Nigeria that don't feel this way, and that's I'll say the 1% or the 1.5% of Nigerians that don't feel this way. Those that are actually born into wealth, or you have a certain type of leverage that is different from the most part of the Nigerians. But majority of Nigerians are currently going through shit at the moment. Currently going through struggles at the moment. Currently battling different challenges and different issues, but that they don't speak about. Most people don't talk about it, and like I say, it's actually a deep topic to talk about. You might not know what someone is going through, because you think they look all good, they look all dressed up, and bruh, that person might be going through a depressive thought, or a suicidal thought at that moment, but you could not tell, because in Nigeria we're built to move with this suffering and smiling mentality. You're suffering, but you're smiling, so you can't really tell who is actually going through shit, or who is actually going through it. So yeah, like continuing what I was saying, we're currently like living like this life of illusion. I'll call it like an elusive life. So you can't really tell who is actually going through stuff unless someone comes up to you and say what they are feeling or say how they are feeling. Then you can now relate and tell the person, oh wait, you actually feel the same way as well. Like you actually feel this way, and it just like opened like a side of my head that was just like, wait, like for the past month or this month and like last month, things have not like maybe been the best for me as well. So I can relate. I can relate 100% to how like he felt opening up and like coming up to you, because what I've been learning, like staying alone or having to like build alone, or like not like alone, but like doing shit by yourself, running shit by yourself, you being like the leader of like your own, is that you go through like solitude moments. You go through times where like you'd feel like you can't do shit. You go through times where like the whole world just feels like it's coming down on you. You go through like a phase of you don't feel shame. You can't speak to anybody about like your problems. You can talk to anybody about your problems. And like in my own like side of like in my own thought of understanding this side to life, is that I I kind of like saw life in a different way now. Like having to like hustle for yourself or like do shit by yourself. There's like two sides to life. It goes down to the money aspect as well, like talking about money. So there are things you can do. There are things you can do. There's how you can behave. There's how you act when you have money. And there's a different side of like human beings, how human beings act, how human beings behave when you don't have money. And I learned, I think I started learning that, or I started seeing that part of my side or part of my being in this period, this 2 months period where like I was not, I'm not, I was not, I don't have money like this period, like so as much as I did like the previous month or other month, where like jobs were coming and everything. So there's this side of you that actually comes out that I was thinking maybe I did not have, or maybe I did not know about, which is like your I don't want to say this thing, but like yeah, I think I actually have felt it and I've seen it real life to the degree of whoa, what you're actually doing in this life is survival. You just want to survive, and even those that have money still want to survive, but they are surviving like in like a more comfortable way. But then there are other people that are surviving without money in a less comfortable way. And like yeah, it's the animalistic side of you that comes out when like you are broke, when you don't have money, and when you're like thinking of, oh, what can I do to like get money, or what am I doing wrong, what am I not doing wrong, what can I do to survive, is the word I would use. Like you think you don't have that side, or you think you're good, or you think you're moral, or you think you're kind, or you think like, oh, I cannot do this because you're good, you're more or less you're comfortable. But like what I learned, like in a kind of way, is like there's an animalistic side of like human beings that comes out when like you're broke and you have to survive. So like you think like there are certain things like you can't do, or okay wait, you have morals that um I can't do this. I can't like hustle this kind of hustle. I can't do this kind of jobs. I can't take this kind of opportunities. I can't do this kind of offers. But when you're left with no option, when you're actually left with no option, you literally do the most, or you do the worst thing, or your animal side actually comes out, like your survival instinct actually comes out. And it's not like to the sense of you wanting to be a bad person, or you actually wanting to like disrespect people or be rude at that moment. It's that you're trying to survive, or you're trying to like be someone that can actually come out from like the situation you're currently at. And for me, my I actually learned about like my survival. Actually, I actually saw my like my animal instincts come out like firsthand. You think that you actually think that like okay, there are foods you cannot eat, there are things you cannot drink, there are like you question what you eat. Like currently now, some people like be like, okay, I'm on a diet. Like I can eat this food, I cannot eat this food. I can do this, I cannot do this. Bro, when it comes down to survival, you would eat anything. You will eat any food. You will not give a fuck about what someone is looking at or how someone is looking at you when you eat it or what you're doing. You will eat it and you would not care because at that moment, what's currently in your mind is, I need to survive. I need to be out of this moment or I have to be out of this shit. If not, you're going to die. And not like necessarily die. You necessarily not die if like, oh my, but if it lingers, you can die. That's how I say it. But and I could see it from the man when the man came up to me and said that okay, this is currently what he's going to currently what he's going through. That he's a retired staff in the school and he is currently going through like a very very depressing time because he hasn't like eaten for like a long period of time. But I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in his face that he's actually saying the truth and he actually hasn't eaten. What I told him was that, sir, I'm currently in the same situation as you at this moment. Not like really literally, but like I can share like similar experiences to what he was saying as to the fact that he was actually hungry and he wanted something to eat, but I did not have anything to give him at that moment. But what now transpired was me now talking about like this country, which is where I'm trying to lead on to. Nigeria is currently like in the worst. I will not say the worst place that's ever been. It's more like a cycle. So like it goes cycles in the 2000s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 70s. It's more like cycles of like inflation, where like things actually get expensive. So like even in the 90s, there were still poor people, and there were still people that thought like food was expensive. Even in the 80s, there were still poor people, and there were still people that thought that food was expensive, like that in the 70s. So it's not like this time is also different from when like those times. What is just different is the generation of like how everything has been over like that period of time. So in as much as it has been like that, like the cycle has been going on like for years, like years and on. This period is more okay. Like when the cycle goes off, it goes up like a notch. If another generation enters, it goes up another notch. So that's how it is. So Nigeria has been like getting bad like generation after generation. But it doesn't mean like there were no bad things happening then. There were no poor people. There were no people that have not eaten, or there were no people that had no food like then. So what now transpired was the conversation we started having was started talking about Nigeria, and like he gave me like history. He gave me facts about Nigeria, like in the 80s, in the 70s, what like things have become, what things were like back then, how life was easy for them back then, but now like things are way worse. And I could relate. Like yes, actually things are actually way worse than they were before. We kept on talking about Nigeria. Like this country currently is in a state of emergency where like the average Nigerian has moved like the average Nigerian like living alone. I'm not talking about the Nigerians staying with their parents. Even those who are staying with their parents are actually facing it rough. But like the average Nigerian currently has moved on from like 3 square meal. 3 square meal was like the basic thought of like okay, you eat 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to eating once a day. And that once a day is that so if you even see the food once a day itself, you should first thank God. And that's like the average Nigerian. I'm not talking about there are actually people working, there are actually people earning, there are actually people eating daily and like living their lives like normal. But like the average one, which is the majority of Nigerians, don't like eat 3 square meal anymore. So food is like scarce, and the economy is not even helping. Like it's way worse than like it was maybe when I was like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's way worse. Like growing up, I grew up like spending. I grew up spending 10 naira, 5 naira, 20 naira for like the most of my life. For like let's say like 10 years, growing up like from when I got to like 10 years, when I started knowing like the value of money, I grew up like spending like that amount on like food, on like snacks, on pastries and stuff like that, and it was great. But current Nigeria, I will add like let me say 15 years to that 10 years. It's a different story. Like it's a totally different story. So that like 5 naira, 10 naira, and 15 naira, 20 naira, all those don't exist again. They are gone, and the base money for like children of my age that I would say when I was 10 is they're spending like the least you spend is 100 naira. And back then, if you had 100 naira, like you could like live off 100 naira. Like I was going to like primary school back then on like 100 naira or 200 naira. I'll go to school, come back on 200 naira. Like you'd buy 20 naira stuff that can take you like a whole day. You I'm currently looking back now and I'm seeing that I was even stealing like money like 15 naira, taking taking money that had literally no significance now. But now currently in Nigeria, the highest and like the you have money. You're holding 1,000 naira, like, and 1,000 naira cannot even do you nothing. 1,000 naira cannot transport you like from one place to another. 1,000 naira cannot feed you in Nigeria. This was 1,000 naira. If it was 10 years ago, like you would hold it for like a month and you'll still be fine. But currently, it can't transport you from like one place to another. You can't eat currently on 1,000 naira. On like your breakfast alone, you can't eat on 1,000 naira unless you want to make sacrifices. And I don't know, I can't put or pinpoint what actually went bad, but what I actually know is that our leader or our leadership in the country has like gone too bad, that they don't actually care what like the economy actually turns to. If it actually goes way bad or it goes way worse or it increases or it get better, they actually don't care. But you'd say for your defense is that okay, don't depend on like leadership, don't depend on like the government for anything, like build your own self or do your own thing by your own self. But what I notice or I start to notice is that how many people can do that for themselves? How many people can like not depend on like stipends or begging or asking for help? How many people can actually go like a whole day not asking or begging for help? You die. People commit suicide because of there's no hope for tomorrow, because they've not eaten, they die. People do the most outrageous things like stealing, like killing, and dripping of people because of hunger. And you can see how like deep stuff like that actually goes to like the society or like people, or you like on a daily basis you're actually trying to help people, or you're actually trying to give people money, or you're trying to like you also want to save yourself. Like you can't help everybody, you can't give everybody money, you can't like. So what are we actually going to do? So that was a conversation I was actually having with him. Like, what what is now the solution for Nigeria? And he said it's God. In Nigeria, there's no even work to put in, so God can come through for you. Like, when I'm speaking about this, I'm speaking for like the majority of people, not just like me alone, or just one person, or just a few demographic. Like the majority of people actually go through life like this, and sometimes it's depressing to think about that you're actually living in a country where there's so much wealth, there's so much resources, there's so much for to go around for everybody, but it's the worst time ever to actually still be in the country, because there's a sect of people which I said is like a 1%, 1.5%. They actually don't give a shit. They actually don't care if everybody in Nigeria dies. They're fine by that. What the future is going to be like, what like the youths are going to do in the next 5 to 10 years, what inventions are we like putting in place, what, because Nigeria is like what is churning out like by the youths as opportunity that I've currently seen is entertainment. We all just want to be entertained. The average Nigerian is not producing anything or creating anything like genuine or generic. We're all more in like entertainment or like content creation spaces. That is like the last hope for like a Nigerian youth. Aside that, most Nigerian youth are into like fraud, prostitution, kidnapping, and like drugs. So like the options for you as a Nigerian youth is like very limited to who has designed this like future for like Nigerians. So I think about it every time. I'm just like, wait, what is going to actually happen like in the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years for like the average Nigerian, or for the average Nigerian youth who is going to want to start a family. Like I know people who are like 30, 35, almost 40, pushing 40, and like there's no hope. They would want to start a family, but they can't start a family because there's no hope to start a family. Or if at all like they get a job that can actually help them start a family, it's low pay. It's worse, you're trying to bring up a family on that kind of pay. and like that's like the most of like the Nigerian youth. I can see like a future where everything like this looks so bad, to be honest. But man, I don't even know what to say. This country, the way things are going, with the way people are living their lives, I think it's not going to be sustainable. It's only going to peak. It's only going to get to a point, then it peaks, and then it becomes an anarchy where you're not going to be safe going out. You're not going to be safe carrying your stuffs around. You're not going to be safe like shooting content, making videos anymore, because most people are actually not feeling like the comfort or the joy in like living anymore. They just feel like there's no point to live. There's no point in like surviving. The country, the government has failed them. The economy has failed them. Opportunities are limited. People are inclined to pay less for jobs because they don't have money to like even like keep up for their job. Businesses are failing because less people are coming to buy. So it's just like a few demographic of people that actually spend, a few demographic of people currently living in the country that actually spend. Majority of them that like the advice you get from like Nigerians who have money will tell you that if you're still in Nigeria and you want to actually be in this country and you have money, like you get out. And most Nigerians have left the country that have money. So the current ones are the middle ones that still have money but also trying to get up their money there so they can leave the country. And then you're now leaving the country for who? You're leaving the economy in shambles for who? The businesses that are currently in Nigeria are left for who? Who are the people shopping? Who are the people buying clothes? And everything keeps going up every day. Like you go to the market and like a t-shirt is like 15,000 naira or 20,000 naira or 30,000 naira. That's the market. I'm not even talking about going to boutiques or buying like from a vendor on like social media and Instagram and stuff. Like just in the market, there's no clothes of like there's no average clothes of like 2,000, 3,000, and I'm not saying it should be that price, but like there's no average clothes of that amount again. Who wants to churn out that kind of money? You've not eaten. You've not eaten, and you're thinking about buying like a shirt of like 15k, bro. So like it actually affects like businesses. It affects like the it actually affects the economy. So I was like saying what do I think, or what do I actually think is like a solution for the country? So yeah, like I was saying, what I actually feel like should be like a solution to the rising inflation in the country, which has affected almost literally everybody, and I think everybody's feeling it at this point. So it's not like it's a one size fits all. Like I don't, even if you have money, you're feeling the economy in some type of way. Even if you don't have money, you're feeling the economy in all type of ways. Like you're feeling everything. You're feeling the heat. You're feeling the discomfort. You're getting angry at the slightest thing. Like you're not wanting to be creative. You're not wanting to like churn out solutions. I feel like Nigeria has like the one of the best source for creativity and ideas. But when you're hungry, how do you want to churn out like creativity and idea? How do you want to push out like how do you want to tell your story? How do you want to share your gifts to the world when all you're thinking about is survival? So I don't know. Personally, I wanted to say like I think I have like a solution to what Nigeria and Nigerians should do. But first off, what I noticed in Nigeria is like there's so many division. So it's like all man for himself type situation, and I'm in Lagos, so Lagos has like like taken that all man for himself like to like a high degree. It's like on a high level. Everybody minds their own business. Nobody cares about like not like everybody, but like it's like the narrative like all man for himself or now you go man up for yourself type stuff. So number one, like the unity is lacking. That's more in the like more developed parts of like Lagos. In the more communal parts of Lagos, I kind of like see like more of like family bringing up children, raising up children. People are there for themselves and like there for like their families and stuff like that. In the more communal side, I noticed that, but like in the more developed parts of like Lagos, it's all man for himself. So like you can see somebody just being in his two-bedroom starving, and because he can't like come out and say okay this is how he feels or talk to someone that this is how he feels, it's sad. So you can't share like your story, you can't share how you feel about like things and like certain things. So like there's that. The unity in Nigeria is broken and is so divided that I feel like one of the first steps is that we recognize that we are actually one, and we are, me being one, is that we can actually change the narratives by actually coming together, creating spaces where like we can share our problems, share problems and share solutions, pull resources together. When I say resources, not necessarily money. You might have something I don't have. You might have a knowledge I don't have. You might have a skill I don't have, and you can share that skill with somebody, and you can share that opportunity with somebody, and you can share that knowledge with another person. So like having like a communal space where we can actually create for ourselves and share for ourselves. Number one, the division in Nigeria is too much. It's too much. It's too much because like, bro, like there are places you go to on the island and you just shake your head because you know that this person is about to die. And like another thing I see is like the homeless people. Oh my god. Let me not talk. Hey, hey. Like literally, I don't know how to feel about that particular one. I don't know whether it's in Lagos thing, and he has always been like that in Lagos. But like you go like around like Lagos, and you go around the roads, and you're like seeing people on the road, half dead, no life, half dead. This person is almost gone, and like cars are passing, people are passing by, people are walking by. Yeah, I mean there are a couple people that actually give those people money on. There are some that are actually begging and stuff. But I'm talking about like those ones that like that you can see that this person is almost dead, but nobody cares, nobody gives a shit, and you have to move like that as well. It's not like you don't want to be the one to make a difference, but how many people do you want to save? Like there are so many people who are just living like walking dead like zombies in this country and in this state in particular. But there's so much wealth and there's so many wealthy people, and I just ask myself like what is actually going wrong? Is it like a Nigerian thing? Is this like a world thing? Does this happen everywhere in the world? Does this happen everywhere in like the country as well? Man, like you can only talk. That's why I say like you can only talk. So like when like I met the man, we just had like a long conversation. Like I had no idea I was going to meet him. I had no idea I was going to have this conversation. Like it just made me like just realize like there's a lot there's a lot that we need to like do for ourselves and as a country and as a community in Nigeria to actually make change. And like the change is not going to start from up, it's going to start from us. It's going to start from me, it's going to start from you, it's going to start from my friend, it's going to start from my neighbor, it's going to start from like the people around you. Then it grows on from there, because saying you're going to wait for like the government or the people in power to like actually come and fix things for us, it's not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen like in the way we think it's going to happen. Because what I think, in as much as I'm making this video, the government is going to be like in their defense. They also do this. They are charitable organizations that actually care for homeless people, that actually care for, so like they're like charity homes where like also those homeless people can go to and like get care, and like people donate to these homeless organizations as well. So like there's that. I would not say like it's a total boss, like the government don't care about like people and stuff. They do care, but like the degree to which they care about people is so small, and like it's so limited, and like it doesn't go around, and it's not meant to go around. Yes, I get. There are some people that actually not they actually not value, even if you help them, like you put them like in the best position, like you put them like, but like man, like you can see it, like it's a general thing, like people are actually feeling the hate man in this country. So what I feel like should be like one of the solutions is like having like a community where people can actually come and like share their stories or share what they're actually going through. Then within that community, like we pull resources, or people pull resources together as to how they can help those people or help people in need. And like you share your problem, I share my problem, then we talk about like how can we solve those problems, but like from like the grassroots. So we're building like a solution from small to the top, more or less. So that's what I feel. Because like, man, I don't know how this is going to continue, or how long this is going to continue, or how long we are going to keep talking about this. Because Nigeria has been like this for time. Like I said, like it's a cycle. But with each generation, it only just get worse. And like for the next generation to come, or my generation, if I get married and I have children, how worse can it get for them? How worse can it get for like the my guys in those age range? Like how worse can it get for like people like them? And if I save myself, I don't want to just save myself to get like I actually go out and I see people suffering and I actually get like yo, I need this help and actually reach out to my guys like for help and stuff. Like I don't want this to be like a continual thing. Like if we can actually start making change by ourselves, like it's going to actually go a long way, to be honest. And like this country is too blessed. This country is full of resources. This country is full of food. This country is full of talent. This country is full of creativity to be suffering like this. Like I don't know, some people don't want to talk about this, some people don't want to say this, but like somebody has to say it. This country is too blessed. I don't want to talk about like religious institutions, and maybe that's going to be another video. I've talked about the political institutions, the one they don't care about you. Um, yeah, Nigeria, Nigeria, man, Nigeria, man. It's 2025. This is 1 month away in January, February, March, April, May. I think we're in May. This should be May 24, 2025. I made this video. I would want to look back to the future. I would want to look back in the future and say, wow, I actually made this video back then, and come and see the progress Nigeria has made. Come and see like the progress we've made in this country. Come and see the difference we've actually made in this country. Like it's a lot. So I would not want to make a follow-up video about Nigeria and it's worse, in the worst state possible. It's only just going to be too sad. So yeah, I mean, like I did not talk about what me and the man discussed. We talked about a whole thing. Like it's like that's what I say. Like when you meet like a Nigerian, you just go back and forth with problem, 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 problem. It's always problem, problem, problem. But what is the solution? Many people don't have hope. Many people don't have solutions like anymore. So like people just resort to God being like the only solution. And it's fair. It's like that's all we can hope for, that God actually comes and intervenes. But you actually need to put in the work and like do stuff so God can intervene. Oh yeah, basically what I wanted to talk about, like I hope I shared like a bit or two about like my own experience, a bit about what I'm feeling and what I've observed in Nigeria. Like I told you, I don't use scripts. I'm not using scripts trying to like show my like come back to my YouTube channel. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a couple things or like you just had like an understanding as to what's currently going on in Nigeria. And man, it's actually deep. I actually feel for a lot of people, and I actually feel for myself too. Because when I'm talking like this, I'm not talking from a place of me being a better person or being in a better position. I'm actually feeling the heat. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for my friends. It's not easy for a lot of people around me, family members, and like a couple people. Like you can actually feel that people are actually going through it. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to talk about in this video, and like I share my thoughts. And yeah, Nigeria. If you like this video, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, share. And I'll see you in another video. I'll see you in the next video. I said if we get 10 likes, I'll drop another video. We've not gotten to 10 likes in the last video. I'm still going to drop this one. I've got to like 4 likes. It's fair, it's fair, it's fair. But if we get more likes, I'm going to drop more videos, more or double videos like in a week, like that. So it goes up from there. Subsequently, just share my life experiences, share the places I go to, the people I meet, ask people questions, get to know people more, get to learn from other people. Like yeah, so like it's part of like what I want, like a growth thing, to be able to share knowledge from other perspective, from other people. Yeah, basically what I'll be doing like in the channel. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.